Hello, my fellow hunters. So the Monster Hunter Wilds demo has been previewed at the Summer Game Fest, and a few YouTubers have got a hands-on preview of the demo and have shared some interesting details that are found in the demo, which are interesting since they improve the formula of the Monster Hunter series. And I will be going over these details and give my thoughts on them, because these little details drastically change on how we play Monster Hunter going forward. And a lot of these changes are welcoming as well, and make the game more alive and also be more immersive, which is what the Monster Hunter team is going for Wilds. We still don't have a clear date when the public gets the demo, and also we still have no clue when the game is going to get released. But it is speculated that we'll get a demo either in August or September, which I cannot wait for. And I hope the game will get a release date of January 2025, which will be the ideal release date, because from what I've heard, the demo was very polished, so most likely Wilds is already finished and they are just giving it the final touches and tweaking it up until release. And so let's get right into these new details. So this detail we already know about since it was showcased in the trailers. Your Hunter and Palico are now fully voiced, but now you have the option to turn off the voice for the Palico and return it back to its default, which is like it is in the older games. But the reason why they changed it so that it's fully voiced is because the Palico can warn the hunter of dangers during the hunt, much rather than reading text on a screen like how they do in World and Generations Ultimate, which is a good change. But you can change the voice at any time you want, but talking Palicos has always been a thing. Like, they could always speak English, but they just choose not to. But it's a good change. Carving has been changed. We now no longer face through the body when a monster is killed. Instead, the body stays there and you can interact with it. From what I've heard, there is a animation where you jump on top of the body and you start carving, which is a very good change in my opinion. But I do see an issue though. What if a monster drops a shiny, or you severed it, or you cut the tail off? What if the monster falls on top of it? Do you lose the shiny or lose the carve, or can you still carve them? That is something we'll have to look into when we get the demo and also when the game releases. But honestly, making it so that you can no longer phase through the body is actually more one of those interesting details that makes it more realistic, I guess. But I like the change. The other changes that I've heard is that you can actually reposition place barrel bombs, which is something I never thought that would happen, because as soon as you pull a barrel down, you can't really do anything with it apart from blowing it up. But obviously you place it down on a sleeping monster. But the changes now is that you can place a bomb and pick it back up and reposition it, which is actually quite good. Because what if you place a bomb in a wrong place and the monster decides to wander off. Or maybe you put the bomb too far away from the sleeping monster. So this change is actually quite good. But I've also heard apparently you can also kick it into the monster. I've not played a demo, so I don't know if this is true or not, but if it is true, it'll be a very good change. So the details that we got on focus mode is... I'm not too sure how to describe it. From what I've heard, it is a completely optional thing that happens when you and the monster clash. And you press or mash buttons to get out of the clash where you deal damage to the monster. Seems similar to how we've seen it in the trailers, but from what I've heard, apparently you can do that, but it does not take away from just fighting the monster normally like how we do in current Monster Hunter games. But focus mode is just there to show off a special move when you pretty much beaten the clash, and it also shows off a special move from the weapon, which makes it more cinematic. Focus mode is something that we need to test when we get our hands on the demo. So I just want to see what each weapon will do. Another feature that I've heard that's also been changed is that now we can build camps around the locales, just like how we did in World. But this time, monsters can destroy them. So that means when we build our camps, we have to maintain them. Because I think over time, monsters will eventually find the camps and either destroy it or raid it. Which is a realistic take, because that's what animals do in real life, especially like bears and stuff. So that's a good change, but I just hope it doesn't become too annoying. Because imagine if you're going on a quest and like it's a very long hunt, and then you find out like all 5 of your camps got destroyed, and like it'll be really annoying if it's like very frequently. I hope it's not too frequent, but I just hope that it's not too frequent enough to make it too annoying. But we'll have to find out and see. Also, about what we've seen from the trailer, small monsters can also interrupt you during your hunt and mount, from what I've heard from the demo. And they can also swarm you, just like how you see in the second trailer where all those new leviathans are chasing you. Which is a good change, because obviously small monsters in the older games don't really do that, especially the raptors. So I want to see what they do with the small monsters when we get the game. So this detail that I've heard from other people is that every biome or locale has its own storm gimmick, which is something that's going to be intriguing to look at, because we've only seen one locale which has the thunderstorm sandstorm gimmick. So I wonder what kind of other storms we will get. Will we get something like a rainstorm, or a blizzard, or a meteor shower, something like that? It depends what kind of locales we're getting, because obviously we know that the first locale, which I forgot its name already, has 3 phases in its cycle, where it has a locale where it's covered in complete sand, which is its normal state. And then it has the raging thunderstorms, which makes things more dangerous and hazardous towards monsters and hunters. Then we have like the spring, the season of it, where all the sand disappears. Then we have a lot of green and different monsters appearing. So the environment is going to be the key feature of Wilds. And I wonder what the other locales are going to be like. So the biggest detail that I've seen, or shall I say heard, is that the new thunder monster is the apex predator of the locale, which it takes advantage of the thunderstorms. And from what I've been told, it only appears during the thunderstorms. But for what I've been told, it is said to be used for damaging the monsters during your hunt. But it can also follow you and interrupt you as well, which is kind of like a given, just like how monsters do in World. But makes me think, would there be an apex predator for each locale with different element? But we have to wait and see when we get the next trailer. Possibly one of the most important details that I've heard, which has been confirmed. There is now no loading screens. So that means the traditional way of going on quests is now obsolete. Instead of being a quest board like it is in the older games, we now just pick a quest and we just prepare, jump on our mount and head out. So it's all just seamless, which honestly is a massive improvement. And it also makes more sense, just like how you prepare for hunting in real life. You just eat, get your weapon ready, then head out. So this is a change that needs to stay for Monster Hunter, because this has changed the way we tackle quests now. From the trailers, we know about the improved Slinger that has come over from World, but some new details have come out about the Slinger. We now can gather materials by using it, so we can snatch like insects, or all that kind of stuff, any surface, which is quite good. It makes gathering much easier, but I wonder, can we capture a Debit Life again? Just like how we did in Iceborne. That's the only thing we don't know about yet. Another detail that we learned of is that while you're playing offline, you can fire an SOS and call 3 NPC hunters to join your hunt, which is massive, because that has not happened in a Monster Hunter game before and it's brand new. So they have taken the follower system from Sunbreak and implemented it into Wilds, which can make some hunts much easier, especially if you're a solo player. But the only thing I need to know is, are the 3 solo NPC hunters or just random NPCs? Or can they take the appearance of your friends on your friends list? That is something we have to wait and see till the game releases. So obviously we've learnt this one from the trailers, but the new way we hunt monsters now is that we separate the alpha from the pack, and we spend most of our time trying to separate it and hunt it on its own. So from what we've seen in the trailers, there are many environmental traps to kill the herd who get the alpha on its own. But as far as I know, the hunt just goes as normal like it does in the other games. The only thing is you have to spend time separating it from the herd, otherwise it will get chaotic, because while you're hunting the alpha and its herd, you also gotta deal with other monsters and also raging thunderstorms. So there will be ways to separate the alpha, which is something that we're all gonna have to learn when we get our hands on the demo. But it's an interesting way to take on a hunt. I just hope not all monsters are like that though, because I'm pretty sure most predators are always hunt on their own, such as like Tigrex and Nagakuga. Obviously it makes sense for certain monsters like herbivores and maybe some small carnivores, but I just hope not all monsters are in herds. Sorry. I just hope not all monsters are in herds, which they shouldn't be. Last bit is not a detail, but it is a speculation that me and my friend have discussed about. We had another look at the logo, and obviously it's a serpent with 4 rings, but I think what's going to happen is that the end game boss is going to be a snake elder dragon, and then the 4 rings represent 4 different wyverns, one of each element for each of the locales. So say like for the first biome, which is obviously thunder, what if there's a ice, fire and a water wyvern for the other locales? It could be true, it could not be true, it's just a theory. But I hope that the end game boss is a snake wyvern elder dragon, because snake wyverns haven't been seen for years, and so far we've got a fanged beast, a leviathan and an amphibian, which are 3 monster types that are not very represented, and I think we are just missing some insects and snake wyverns, and maybe the occasional brute wyvern. But yeah, the theory is that the endgame boss will be a snake and have 4 children that will be 4 wyverns. Each wyvern will be the apex of each locale, but we have to wait and see. The next few trailers will confirm some of this, hopefully, but it's too early to tell. So yeah, these are the details that have surfaced around the Monster Hunter Wilds demo, and I honestly can't wait to get a hold of the demo myself, but we just don't know when we're going to get it. And also sorry beforehand, because this video is unscripted and I'm doing this very late at night, so if I sound a bit disorganized it's because I am literally doing this unscripted. So yeah, these are my thoughts on what the details are for Monster Hunter Wilds so far, and I gotta say, I really like them. From the sounds of it, Monster Hunter Wilds will be possibly the best Monster Hunter game to come out, and it is Capcom's biggest game that they're making right now, and I've got a strong feeling that's going to be Game of the Year. From what we've seen so far, the game is already top notch. The only thing is now, we just need to know how difficult it will be. I'd assume it'll be just as difficult as World and Iceborne, if anything, because the game does play a lot like World, and the hunters have been slowed down just like how they were in World. So the game will be more realistic, just like it was in World, and the weapons also have weight behind their attacks, just like how they did in World. And I gotta say, going forward, all these changes that they've done, they must be a staple going forward, because all these improvements enhance the game massively. And I honestly cannot wait for 2025. And so, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Stay safe, and of course, happy hunting!